What is going on, everybody? I'm your host, Stacey Morgan, and you're listening to the Morgan Man Sports Podcast here on Spotify, Google Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts from. Ladies and gentlemen, here on the show, we are talking about the Atlanta Falcons 24-16 loss against the New York Jets with my initial reactions. And also, we are talking about the 3 players, according to Crimsix, that the Atlanta FaZe could pursue now since they have dropped Arcitys. So without any further delay, let's go and get straight into today's action. Alright guys, so the Atlanta Falcons had a somewhat great loss, but also kind of like a head-scratching loss there against the New York Jets, who won 24-16 over the Falcons Monday, August 22nd at MetLife Stadium on Monday Night Football primetime. Guys, the New York Jets, they're a great team. They really are. They have been, surprising here lately. But the Atlanta Falcons definitely showed some grit in this game right here. They showed that competitiveness, toughness, whatever you want to call it, against the Jets. They really wanted to win this game. But when the third stringers started to come in, third, fourth, fifth, whatever, then things started getting a little sloppy. But there are still plenty of highlights that we could go over. Like, for starters, Marcus Mariota and Desmond Ridder. And before I get any further into that situation, it is Desmond Ridder. It is, gosh dang it, not Desmond Ridder. Okay, please, for the love of God, stop saying Ridder. It's not Ridder, it's Ridder. Who in their right mind is saying Ridder? Because it just irritated me that entire Monday night broadcast. Desmond Ridder got this and got that during college, and Desmond Ridder for a 50-yard completion. And I'm like, just stop. Please start saying Desmond Ridder, okay? It is Desmond Ridder. It is not Ridder. So, but going into the quarterback situation, Marcus Mariota, again, guys, looked fantastic. Yes, the New York Jets did not really have their starters out there for the most part, maybe like 1 or 2 starters. But other than that, it was all rookies, third stringers, fourth stringers, and so forth. So definitely, Marcus Mariota moved that ball fantastically. Like, there was nothing wrong with Marcus Mariota and his game style, whatever you want to call it, against the Jets. Desmond Ridder, on the other hand, definitely had a great time. He did look a little shaky there at first, but got more comfortable in the pocket, started using his legs. And guys, let me tell you, the quarterback situation is fantastic here in Atlanta. Now, I'm not going to say so much about Felipe Franks being that third string quarterback, because that's really why we lost, because we started letting our third strings and fourth strings into the game. Now, that situation can be improved upon, but we're mostly focusing on the guys who can be within that first, which obviously is starters, then your second, and then, have some improvements in your third strings. Because if you go through your second string and then go into our third string, we're in for a long season. But still, quarterback situation is really great. The offensive line did okay, not a sack on the quarterback. Definitely like that. But again, our quarterbacks are mobile now. And that is a good thing. And I'm starting to, appreciate a mobile quarterback. But at the same time, I still wish we had a deep ball accurate quarterback like Matt Ryan here. But that's another topic for another day. Offensive line still held up pretty great, except for that last half of the game, where that second half, it was penalties after penalties after penalties. Like, I knew we had, at least 11 penalties for 150 yards combined. Guys, that really needs to be worked on. But this is an endurance test, and the New York Jets brought it to the Atlanta Falcons O-line, and that's what we need to start moving forward. So, outside of the penalties, yes, the offensive line held up really great. It was mostly like holding calls and false starts, but other than that, you can fix that in practice by, just timing them. Getting P's to have that defensive line really test that offensive line's, patience. And then if you do that several times, the offensive line will hold up strong, because you're going to have Cameron Jordan coming after you week one after Marcus Mariota, but you got to go, of course, to the offensive line. So I'm not going to go over like all the scoring plays and everything like that. But yes, the analytics say that the Atlanta Falcons were supposed to win at a -4.5, but that did not happen. Your top performers, of course, was Marcus Mariota, 6-10, 132 yards with 1 touchdown, 0 interceptions. Felipe Franks was a leading rusher with 45 yards at 5 attempts and receiving. Jay Bernhardt at 67 yards, 3 receptions. So definitely that was pretty dang good. I like Bernhardt in this wide receiver role. Again, the Atlanta Falcons were supposed to win this game at a -4.5, but people who betted on the Jets at the +4.5 are sitting pretty good right now. The money line was a +67 for the New York Jets, and people took the over at a -14, which is a 38 at the 60% public bets. So guys, again, this was a fundamental loss right here. You know, you can't really get too mad about this loss because the offense showed some daylight. The defense also showed some daylight. You know, there were some open tackles that you far few in between get to see for the Atlanta Falcons, but still, with this being generic plays, like I said on last week's episode, being generic plays, why is there no sacks and interceptions happening for this Atlanta Falcons defense? Because if you want to be in that conversation for top 10 defense, like the Patriots, like the Baltimore Ravens, like a New Orleans Saints, where's that pressure coming from? Yes, I know you're blitzing, but at the same time, where's that edge rush? Where's that pressure that's going to get you to the quarterback to sack him? And where's that pressure to intercept the ball? And this Dean Pease defense, it kind of makes me question everything that's happening. But we have to see what happens week 1 against the Saints. Again, this is just generic plays that are happening right now during the preseason. You don't really want to open up your playbook all too much. All right, guys, so moving on over to the top 3 players that Crimsix claims only could replace Arcitys on the Atlanta FaZe squad. So this is an article from Dexero.com. Jacob Hale is reporting on this, was last updated August 22nd, 2022. The Call of Duty League all-season roster mania is in full swing, and Ian Crimsix Porter has revealed his top 3 picks for who the Atlanta FaZe will pick now since they have replaced Arcitys for the Modern Warfare 2 season. So, of course, this leaves Atlanta FaZe down a player, and they're losing a main AR. So now with rumors around role swaps, FaZe are looking for a new assault rifle player to lead them back to the unprecedented levels of glory, and Crimsix, has named the 3 players he thinks would best fit that hold. If, end quote, if FaZe does not get Sib, you do not drop Arcitys for anyone else, he claimed. Sib, Dashy, that's the start of the list. End of the list, it could also be Pred. So those are the top 3 players that Crimsix thinks that can replace Arcitys. I agree with him. You know, if you do not get Sib, you do everything you can to keep Arcitys in the red and black. Dashy, if you're willing to buy out his contract, and if he's willing to go after just re-signing with Optic, after that whole big fluke that we just had with Optic saying that they dropped him and then re-signed, well, I don't know. Also, Pred is going to be an interesting situation, but Sib, definitely, I would pursue Sib over Arcitys. But if you're not going to end up with Sib, you do everything you can to make Arcitys happy. So, I want to ask you guys, do you think all of this is a joke? Like it was poking at Optic? Because again, you know, Optic said they released Illy and Dashy, but then turned right around and re-signed them. Do you think the Atlanta FaZe is just poking fun at Optic and saying, hey, look, we're going to pick on Arcitys right here. We're going to tell them, hey, look, we cut you and then we're going to re-sign you, just like Optic, and see how the attention feels our way. I believe personally that's what's happening, because why would Arcitys go on live stream and say, yeah, everybody re-signed for the 2022-23 season for Modern Warfare 2? Like, everybody re-signed their contracts for the Atlanta FaZe, even Coach Crowder, who is still a part of FaZe right now. So it is a question to be answered here very soon. Now, since the new league year has begun, we are officially in the 2023 season for the Call of Duty League. So guys, do you agree with Crimsix, Sib, Dashy, or Pred that could replace Arcitys if Arcitys is in fact going to the Los Angeles Guerrillas for the buyout that the LAG squad had to pay for? Let me know in the comment sections below or on Twitter at mmstacymorgan. Or at Twitter, whatever. Everything will be in the description, guys, for you guys to check out on my socials, TikTok, Instagram, everything like that. But guys, I sure hope you did enjoy, and if you did, make sure to like button wherever you are listening from. Make sure to hit the follow button. Sure does help me out. Download this podcast. Helps me out as well on there. 5 stars, whatever you got to do to support this channel. Guys, I really do appreciate each and every single one of you. You do not know how much this means to me. But until then, guys, I'm Cole Morgan. We'll catch you all later. Peace.